Schneiderman here is talking about the potential that the Trump Foundation violated state law, but just all the reasons that you listed, if those aren't indications of impropriety at the Clinton Foundation, I don't know what it is. Let me ask you this about the independent audit. I believe in the actual statute in New York, it's called a professional audit here. Doesn't the Clinton Foundation post those audits? Don't they post those audits on their website?
And that's even worse. You're supposed to have this thing immediately was required to get a true audit. Now, the definitions of audits have changed over time, but from the very earliest year, this was an entity that should have been audited. Frankly, it should have been audited for the short period, October 23, 1997 through year-end 1997, but there's no information on that period, and there's no legally compliant audit for any year, including the most recent ones done in the last 2 years by PricewaterhouseCoopers. They are, I can tell you as somebody who knows this area, these are fake audits masquerading as real ones. And that in and of itself is a crime and evidence of criminal activity, of purposive, repeated, widespread fraud in New York, across this country, around the world. And, you know, I'm against charity fraud, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican or an independent or somebody who doesn't care about politics. The sector in this country engaged in charity work is a wonderful group of people who give of their time, many of them, who don't take a lot of compensation, and who truly move and improve the lives of countless millions of Americans and people around the world. So to see the Clintons operate a rogue charity, to hear Bill Clinton say he's Robin Hood, when I'll tell you he's Robin Hood in reverse, to see them make the kind of money that they made preying off innocent and vulnerable people at Laureate, in Haiti, in many countries around the world is an affront to morality. It's disqualifying for any type of service, in my view, and they should be ashamed of themselves because they're smart people who should know better.
Right, and I think it shows the lowest sort of moral depravity here to take advantage of people who want to give of themselves, who want to give money to help people who are less fortunate, and then to abuse that trust people put in your charity just to make money for yourself. But just to clarify, just to be clear here, by all indicators, to use New York Attorney General Schneiderman's words here, by all indicators of impropriety, this is the legal definition of charity fraud at the Clinton Foundation, correct?
Absolutely. It's bright line charity fraud. You know, the thing that's interesting about our New York law, which is tougher than for-profit fraud laws, you don't have to prove intent or harm to win a conviction for charity fraud. And when the prosecutor goes after a charity, the burden of proof shifts to the charity to defend its actions, produce the evidence, show us when this thing was ever authorized to be anything other than a presidential archive and a research facility in Little Rock, because I can show you lots of information that's in the public domain in other states. Massachusetts is a key state that shows that this has completed fraudulent forms around the world in many states. It has created entities out of thin air. It has liquidated entities without explaining how they actually did it. It has created false front corporations around the world in tax havens and elsewhere. And it's a disgusting case study in international charity fraud, which is why I've determined to make an example of it, so that it's a cautionary tale and people, particularly former presidents and aspiring presidents, never try to do this again.
Right, and to hold the ones that have done it, to hold them accountable. And I believe we can find all of this information on your website at charlesortel.org, if that's correct. I encourage people to go look up this information. It's incredible. Charles, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming on the show.